of Attorney General and also Minister for Justice in the John Kufuor government. The Honorable Ni Ayikoi Otoo is joining me on the line. Sir, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you.
Okay, so I don't know if we should be having this conversation now, because that OSP law was passed in 2018, and it was seeking to hive off some of the powers of the AG to create the OSP. The speaker is now saying that he disagreed at the time, and his disagreement appears to have been justified because he thinks that the OSP, the whole creation in itself, is an exercise in futility, to quote him. From where you sit, observing how the OSP is operating, and also remembering when you were playing both the dual role of AG and Minister of Justice, would you say the division would have been better than the creation of a new offshoot?
Well, thank you for your question. I think that it's not even the fact that I occupied that office, but I was part of those that crafted the manifesto at the time. What we were looking at is how to fight corruption. And I think it was common knowledge among most people that the AG, being a minister of state, would find it rather difficult prosecuting his own ministers, assuming they are caught in the web of corruption. And therefore, we were trying to find a way of getting someone who could, handle that position. It was that idea which informed the manifesto drafting committee to come out with this OSP thing. That, look, the constitution, as it were, appears to be entrenched, the Article 88, and therefore there's not much you can do than to leave the Attorney General to exercise the prosecutorial powers. You would also find that the Attorney General has the authority to ask other people to prosecute on his behalf, which is why you find police prosecutors, immigration officers, and others who also do prosecution on behalf of the Attorney General. In any case, those of us who have been there before will tell you that we can't even get a full complement of lawyers because of conditions of service and all that. And so this whole idea was, okay, then take part of the powers of the Attorney General, give it to someone called the Office of the Special Prosecutor, and give him full autonomy to handle such matters, especially when we are looking at corruption and corruption-related offenses. This is the idea. I do not think that the problem that the OSP is facing has to do with any powers that, or if you like, challenges to his authority by the AG. No. I think his fight is rather with the judiciary, that his cases are not, handled by them or looked on with favor. So to me, I do not think that it's necessary for him to lament and to hold press conferences. I mean, when a lawyer goes to court and you lose a case, if you believe strongly that the judges committed errors in coming to that conclusion, all you need to do is to file an appeal. Especially so when this law, is relatively new. New in the sense that we did not see the flurry of activities that he is engaging compared with what Hamidu was doing. Hamidu was working quietly. He, started going to court, and it's not different from, if I remember, is it Yoko, when the Yoko law was made, these same powers of seizure and investigations and the rest also had to go to court, and there were many challenges to their powers and all that. After some time, it was, settled. So what they ought to do is to test the law on appeal and then ask the Court of Appeal people to tell him whether indeed is acting correctly by maybe seizing the properties as a precondition for investigation, or the other way around, that he's got to finish the investigations before he can seize. So allow the law to grow by going on appeal, like what the AG is telling us about this Aisha one and the rest. We all know what the law is, but there's been a little public outcry here and there. So let's go and test it at the Court of Appeal. And I think the OSP hasn't got much of I cannot say whether I'm very conversant with issues raised by the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament at the time we crafted this law 2016, 2017. I don't know. I can't remember. But I do not think that we did anything wrong or that it was exercising futility. I don't believe so. He has full power. I mean, if you have seized somebody's property according to law, and the judge is saying that the seizure is wrong, so return the money, and you feel strongly about it, just go on appeal. Let the appellate court. I mean, this is why from one judge you go to three, from three you go to 5, or 7 and then 9 and all that. So I think he has created an artificial, crisis for himself. To me, that's what sitting back, I don't know him too well. And he's not somebody whose number I have that I can call and say, look, I would want us to discuss A or B. But privately, I try to talk to, others that I know close by, like the deputy and the rest, because we work together at the AG's department. So this crisis that he has created for himself, to me, is unnecessary. He's gone to court and think, you had seized money, and then you decided to go to other houses to make sure that indeed they're having other money cashed away. And you went and found the monies. Are they not still part of the corruption-related matters that you were already investigating? And why on earth should the judge say that give the money back to that person? And then you accept the position and go and cry to the press. What will the press do for you? What is he expecting the press to do? It should go on appeal. It should just go on appeal and let the appellate court either agree or disagree with either himself or the High Court judge, and then let the law grow.
Now that he has gone to town using the press, what do you reckon is going to happen in the courtroom if he appears before the judges again, the same judges he publicly denounced?
Well, seriously speaking, all judges are taking oath.
And let me just remind listeners, I remember when you appeared before the Supreme Court during the election petition to hold brief for some persons who were standing trial for contempt. Your approach was not confrontational. You approached the bench using a skill that I'm sure many lawyers would be learning from. This particular approach that he used, which may be confrontational, considering how he spoke at the press conference, what do you think the judges are going to do when he appears before them, being the same person and having questioned them in public?
Well, it's not the best, first of all. And let me say that when we were doing attachments many years back, around 1980-81, we were advised that judges also discuss lawyers. And that when lawyers come to misbehave before them, when they meet among themselves, they also discuss the lawyers. And they may take a stand that, look, this gentleman does not seem to show respect to the bench. And therefore, we should also show him that, after all, we have the last say. You know that you may have a good case, and you may be looking for an exercise of discretion in your favor. But because of the way you behave or you approach the judges, they will not exercise their discretion in your favor. It is wrong. I don't know who advises him. So, and I'm not trying to attack him here, but I'm saying that in the best traditions of the profession, in fact, I remember my mentor then, Senior Benjamin Williams, who recently passed away, saying that the place to, if you like, abuse a judge. It's a court of appeal. Don't stand before him and attempt to abuse him. He has all the powers, and he can even commit you for contempt. So leave him alone and go to the court of appeal. There you have, the latitude to say whatever you want to say about the way he approached the matter that went before him, and condemn him totally and let him look, if you like, stupid. That is why you do that. You don't do it before the judge, or, if you like, go to press. I mean, to all the press conference, and when I saw it, then I said, how? What is going on? What is going on? Whose idea is this? That you hold a press conference and then you complain to the press that things are not going the way you want and the judges have ganged up against you. And no. I think it is completely wrong.
Finally,
it's completely wrong. You should not have done that. I don't think that this is what your website people are just going to take there and blow about. Let's talk about serious matters that we are considering. Yes.
Yeah, so my last one is on the speaker's point about the division of the Attorney General and the Ministry of Justice. You were saying that the idea for which reason your party proposed the OSP was because the Attorney General may have difficulties prosecuting his colleagues in cabinet. So give someone else the power to prosecute corruption especially. But this person, he may not be in cabinet, but he was appointed by the head of the cabinet and was even nominated by a member of the cabinet per the law. The Attorney General nominates the OSP, the president appoints. It is the same thing, isn't it? There's no independence truly, is it?
It is the same with the president who appoints all of them in consultation with the Judicial Council and then the Council of State and all that. So it's nothing. I mean, once you are giving the authority, what we call that independence, I mean, exercise your independence the way you want to go, and that's all. You have to exercise your independence. This is why you are giving or clothed with that independence to do whatever it is that you want to do. There is this story which is said that a president of America was asked his greatest regret, and he said it was a particular judge that he appointed. I don't know whether it was the Chief Justice. He exercised complete independence, and he will have none. I mean, no president can invite. You can invite me to your office for any discussion when I've taken oath to do what it is that I want to do in accordance with law. And so all he needs to do is to exercise his authority. After all, the lady, when the news broke, he was still cabinet minister, or at least minister of state. It was later that she had to resign, and then he took up. And then even whitening that was what I liked so much about him, whitening the investigation to go beyond even the house where the thing happened, to look at other houses, believing that something would happen. And that was kudos for him. And he went and found these monies, which is seized as part of corruption-related investigation. And how can the judge seriously say return the money? And then you, instead of going on appeal, sit down and cry to a press. What does he want the press to do for him? What does he seriously want the press to do for him? That is very, very disappointing on his part. He should take his office serious in terms of his independence. I'm an independent person. I mean, it's not what matter. I mean, it did. If you invite me, I won't go. And if you try to pressurize me in any way, I will resign. I just leave the office. You go and tell them, I'm not going to resign, but I am something. I don't speak to you, Uncle Nam or something. What is all that? Why? You want to resign. So you do what we've asked you to do. Why we pay you. Honestly, I'm so disappointed by. I'm saying that he has all the authority to do his work. He has his, unless we are seeing a situation where the Attorney General says that by Article 88, the power is in me. I get this on power to act, so I'm not allowed him to act. I've taken over. this A and B, then that means thing will come in. That is when he will be justified. That under the Constitution, the power is given to the Attorney General and not to any other person. So now that he has ceded part of his powers to you, because we have not bothered to make any distinction between the office of Attorney General and the Minister of Justice and the prosecution and all that, and we are not ready to amend the Constitution because of this one thing. This is the way we want to go. If we begin to find that conflict, that when the OSP is trying to do his investigations, he is then being, as it were, frustrated by the Attorney General saying that I owe the ACEs. And so on that, all prescriptions must come from me, but I'm not allowing you to work. Then that means thing will kick in. Right Honorable Bagby would be right to say that, look, then it's an exercise in futility. But if that is not what is happening, but the Attorney General has agreed that this is the law and that we are all subject to the law, and the OSP law gives you the authority to do what you are doing, and you are, given full authority to go and do it. Just go and do it. That's why some people ask, why are we, some of us, sitting down doing what? Go and do it.
Very well. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, my pleasure.
That's Ghana's immediate past High Commissioner to Canada.